I am Helen at MK Fit Body Bootcamp, and today I'm here to talk to you about macronutrients. I feel like a teacher now because I've got my whiteboard and my pen. Okay, so macronutrients. Most of you would have heard of that before, and most of you would know that the three macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Now I'm going to start off by letting you know how many calories there are in each of these per gram. So per 1 gram of carbohydrates there are 4 calories. In 1 gram even of protein there are also 4 calories. And in 1 gram of fat there is a whopping 9 calories. Now then, although carbohydrates and protein have the same calorific value per gram, they are dealt with in the body in very, very different ways. Now, carbohydrates are your body's preferred source of energy. So whenever you're exercising or training, your body will reach for the carbohydrates, and that's what they'll use primarily for their energy. Proteins, on the other hand, are very much used for muscle repair and growth. So used very differently by the body, and the way that your body deals with these calories are very different. So you might hear people saying don't eat carbohydrates after 6 PM, 4 PM, 5 PM, whatever it is that the latest magazine is telling you to do. And there is some truth in that, I suppose, but it's not so much don't eat carbohydrates at night. It's more a case of don't eat carbohydrates when you're not going to be active, which for most people is in the evening. The typical person that works throughout the day will get home, have dinner, sit and watch TV for a bit and then go to bed maybe. And if you're not active in the evening, then there is no need for your body to consume all these carbohydrates which it's not going to use. So if you had a high carbohydrate meal at say 6 o'clock and then you went to bed a few hours later, you had sort of lots of pasta or potatoes of an evening, your body's getting all these carbohydrates which it thinks, oh great, energy, I'm going to do something. Now if you're not active and you don't use those carbohydrates straight away, then carbohydrates are very, very easily stored as fat. And that's where a lot of people go wrong with carbs. So carbs aren't the enemy. You need carbs, especially your good carbs, which are whole grain. So whole grain pasta, wholemeal bread, all that kind of stuff. They're not the enemy, but they just need to be eaten at the right amounts at the right time of day. So earlier on in the day or times when you're more active, that's the time you want to be eating your carbohydrates. So that is carbohydrates in a nutshell. Moving on to protein. Now protein is vitally important, and it's very important especially if you're training. So if you're coming to boot camp, initially what you're doing is tearing down muscle fibres, and what you need to make sure you're doing is getting that protein in your body so that your muscles can build and repair and come back stronger. And that means that you're building your lean muscle, which is what you want, because I don't know if you know this, but for every 1 pound of lean muscle that you gain, and that's lean muscle, it's not like the big bulky muscles that you see guys at the gym walking around, you know, in the muscle tops and stuff. For every 1 pound of lean muscle you gain, you burn roughly an extra 50 calories per day at rest, and that's what we want to do. That's how we're going to rev up your metabolism, and we do that by making sure you get enough protein in so that your muscles can build and repair while you're resting overnight and during your rest days, and they can come back stronger. So that's protein, and that's very important. Protein isn't as easily stored as fat. So you want to make sure that your evening meal is high in protein, low in carbs, so that your body's got that protein to build and repair muscles overnight. That's carbs and proteins. Now fats. Now fats aren't the enemy either, contrary to popular belief. Although they are over double the amount of calories per gram, your body does need good fats in order for cell repair and to make sure it's all functioning properly and to help metabolise the bad fats. So your good fats are things like nuts, avocados, oily fish, seeds, flaxseed, anything like that is really, really good source of good fats. And you should be looking to get a bit of good fats in with every meal if you can. And don't think about cutting out fat altogether. You know, there's so many different diets out there which cut out whole food groups, and what you really need is a good balance of all the 3 macronutrients. Now there is it's not a 4th macronutrient, but there is something else that I'm going to talk about, and that is alcohol. Now don't go around saying that I've told you it's a macronutrient, because it's not a macronutrient. It doesn't really have much nutritional value whatsoever. In fact, it doesn't have any. But I'm going to let you know how many calories per gram there is in alcohol. It's actually nearly as much as fat. So 7 calories per gram in alcohol. Now, if you think about a bottle of vodka, this isn't a bottle of vodka, it's a bottle of water. But if you imagine this was a bottle of vodka, and vodka is 40% proof, so just under half of this bottle would be nearly as bad as pure fat. And if someone handed you half that bottle filled up with vegetable oil, you'd think twice about drinking it. In fact, I don't think you'd think at all about drinking it. You just wouldn't do it. One, it wouldn't be very nice, and you'd be thinking, well, no, that's fat, that's bad. And so you wouldn't drink it, you wouldn't touch it. And we're not saying you need to cut out alcohol completely, because everyone likes to have the odd glass of wine and, you know, a beer on a summer's day, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I've just included this in to make you more aware. And, I mean, also, it's not just the calorific value that's going in when you're consuming the alcohol, but also your body perceives alcohol as poison. It's a toxin. And so it will try and get rid of the alcohol as quickly as it can. And what happens when you drink alcohol? You go for fatty foods, right? You know, you're feeling a bit tipsy, you think, oh, I want a kebab, I want a burger, I want chips. You genuinely get a bit hungry. So that food that you're consuming while you've drunk the alcohol, it's not going to get digested. It's not going to metabolize those food calories first. The alcohol calories are going to take priority, and your body's going to process that first because it sees it as poison and toxins, and wants your body to get rid of them. And everything else that you've eaten, which is probably a massive, massive amount of carbs, protein and fats all in one big shabam, that's going to get stored as fat. So that is the evils of alcohol. Like I say, don't think about cutting it out altogether. You know, myself and Neil, we enjoy the odd drink, but it's all about moderation. It's all about getting a healthy balance of all your macronutrients and having a little bit of a treat at the weekends, or, you know, whenever you've had a hard day maybe. And that's it. If anyone does have any questions about macronutrients or alcohol or anything else that we've covered in this little video, then please do leave a comment. If not, then I hope that it's been of use to you, and we will see you at boot camp. Take care.